Hey guys, and welcome back to Truth Bombs and Hot Flushes, where midlife gets real. So, since we're closing up or getting closer to our season finale, which is a bit emotional as well, like, gosh, I can't believe we're already here, getting close to ending our first season, which has been brilliant. And our way of giving back is me being in the hot seat after a lot of convincing. But yeah, I mean, what's the point of being real if I can't be sitting in the hot seat and being real with you guys? So today, I'm not host, but guest. And we've got our beautiful Kamsile, who's going to be our host for today. So we'll take it over to you.
Thank you. So, Shantal, tell us when people hear Shantal Narinsami, they think powerhouse. But when you take off all the titles, who is Shantal really?
I think yes, as a woman, as a person, I use tons of caps and titles, but I think the one that would best define who I am, that I'm really proud of, um, and how I determine what my success is the title and role of mother. I I know it sounds a bit cliched, but I wouldn't be who I am without my three boys, because with each of them came a rebirth in me as well. Um, with redefining, also finding myself again. Um, but yeah, I think Chantal is mum. I think more so than anything else. That's who I am. Yeah.
Okay.
As weird and as simple as it is,
But
but
it
that's,
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's me.
So tell us, what does a typical day look like between the CEO, wife, mom, and the boss lady?
Oh, good Lord. Um, Chaos, organized chaos. It's madness. I am the mom that gets up in the morning, that makes the lunches. I'm very OCD about how lunches are made. So although my husband, shame, he tries, and our beautiful helper tries as well. There's just yeah, I'm very pedantic about that, how their lunch boxes are and their whole routine. So I am that mom, that takeaway boss lady. Um, in the morning, I am just mum in pajamas trying to arrange the whole house and get them out in time. Yeah, start the day off like that. And then, of course, having that moment to myself. I do take time off every morning. It's not a lot of time. I wish it could be a couple of hours, but taking that time off to just ground myself, have that time with God, I think, if anything, my latter years have drawn me so much closer to God. So I always start my day off with prayer or a little bit of meditation, my version of it. And just to be in a quiet space for just a moment. And then it's to the offices. And yeah, it's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. There's days where it's quite draining. Um, but I've always been a hard worker. Um, you just push through, you carry on. I think I've had moments where I've been a housewife and I was still a hard worker at that as well. I mean, gosh, hats off to all home executives. But yeah, that's my day. And then I get back home at a reasonable time where I still sit down, make supper with the kids. I think that's my most favorite time, because you get to catch up with them. And not every day goes as perfectly or smoothly. I've got three boys, so at any given time, one of them are having some type of a meltdown. But yeah, it's that's my favorite part of the day. So without getting really into work's work, I love it. I love every aspect of what I do, and I think my determination has pushes me to do more, especially now being in my 40s. every time I see an opportunity for anything, even if it's something that I don't know or don't understand, I don't just shun it. I take it on. Like taking the bull by its horns and saying, right, I'm going to do this. But yeah, my most favorite part of the day is when it's time to get home and just chill with the family. I hope I answered that properly.
Yeah.
You know, I can go on talking, right? So,
Okay, what's one misconception people have about you?
okay, this, I don't know. I find it funny, but there's a lot of people that think I'm quite stern and intimidating or not approachable, which is the most hilarious thing. I mean, I think I've even told you this a couple of times, but do I come across like that? Like, yeah, but it's been a thing that's yeah, it's often more times than not where it's like, but once you get to know me and then they're like, oh my god, but we thought you were like so snobbish and you were so not approachable and this is who you are, and I'm like, yeah.
Only if they
Yeah,
know.
but I think that's a huge misconception.
Yes.
I am, you can't even associate that with me. Yeah, no, it's
So, Chantal, you lead so many different businesses. How do you keep your sanity when everything demands you at once?
yeah, it is, to be very honest, it's keeping your sanity on certain days. People can wind you up, um, especially with different aspects, because if you in the office, you could be driven a bit insane with some little issue, or if you out on a site, or you it's just it's very yeah it's emotionally demanding sometimes, but you know what? You got to juggle and you just got to push through. I just always remind myself that there's so many people that are juggling so much more and going through so much more, and they get going with it. And that kind of motivates me and pushes me to like, when you're feeling exhausted, just push on, you know? And you've got to keep a strong mindset, because I think if your mind gets the better of you, you just deflate. And not to say that I don't. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of days where I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, you just gotta pull yourself back up and also compartmentalize. I think my that's where my OCD comes in a lot, and I appreciate the OCD because you've got to have yeah, compartmentalize each thing, especially if you're doing a variety of stuff. You've got to compartmentalize that. If not, you go a bit nutters, yeah. And then add children in there and a husband in there, and yeah, it's fun.
Okay, have you ever had a moment where you just wanted to walk away from it all?
Um, yeah, that's a
Bit
tough
tricky.
one. I think definitely. I think you have kids, you can never walk away from any, or you're a wife, you're a mom, you can't walk away. But if or just throw in the towel. But if I go back, and this is a bit of an emotional thing, but if there was a time or point in my life that I think, let's call it a redefining point in my life, I think was 21 years ago, when I lost my dad. I think I was ready to just throw in the towel with everything, because I think there will be no other human that I would come across, I think, in this lifetime that would even compare to the stature of man that he was. I get emotional about this, but I think everyone that knows me knows what he meant to me. And to lose him, and lose him so suddenly, flip, it, yeah, changes everything. It changes your perspective on everything. It was, yeah, really a defining moment for me. I mean, it's 21 years later, and I still go back to those moments. And sometimes you think you've gotten past that, losing someone, that close to you. But yeah, if ever there was a time in my life that I would have said, right, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done because this is unfair. Life's unfair. Was when I lost my dad, I think, because he meant too much to me. Yeah, it was like a piece of me literally died that day. So, yeah.
Okay, what's one lesson motherhood taught you that business never could?
Oh God, patience. Oh, patience. Like, I am the most impatient human being on this planet. I can't even like wait in traffic. I feel like I want to fly over cars. And motherhood has humbled the shit out of me because patience with children, oh my gosh, it has to be turned up a notch or a few notches. And especially with my three that come with three different personalities. Yeah, so it's helped in business to be patient. So I'm thankful that my three little minions have taught me patience. But if anything, motherhood has definitely taught me patience. Oh my
Patience.
God. Yeah.
So you're open about being a wife and a mom. How do you and Dashan keep your relationship strong in the middle of the chaos?
Oh gosh. You know that word of keeping a relationship strong or a marriage strong? Flip man, marriage is it's hard work. It's hard work. And I'd like to sit here and go, yeah, no, you've got to go for date nights and got to keep the magic alive. And reality is we've known each other for now. It's gonna be almost 21 years.
Oh my god.
Um, love the man to bits. But it's difficult. His schedule is chaotic. Mine is. We've still got to make time for our kids more so than anything else, but also find that time for each other, which on some days it just would flow, and certain days there's just we gotta like bank our time, you know. It's not. I think marriage is one way. It's constant hard work, but you got to also allow yourself to be a bit vulnerable in a sense of it's not perfect. It's not perfect, and not put pressure on yourself that we've got to go get that date night. We've got. I mean, we're lucky if we at least once in a week or once in 2 weeks drop the kids off and get to grab a breakfast that lasts for about half an hour. And sometimes the reality, I might get a call or need to answer an email. He's got to answer an email and yes, we could get very upset with that, but it's the reality. And you know what? I think the most important is that we come together as one with raising our boys and keeping our home in order. But we've learned to accept that marriage is perfect in its imperfections. And we both are perfect in our imperfections. I think when you remove the pressure and also remember to still have fun with each other. Yeah, if my husband was here right now, he'd be like, yeah, this woman's sense of humor is a bit on another level. I'm quite the naughty one in the marriage. So now and then it's the funny little, even I have this thing of where I'm just having a little bored moment, even whether it's in the office or at home. I'll pop my husband quite a naughty message, and I just love to see what the reaction is and get him all excited to come home.
Love
And
that.
yeah, exactly. And only for him to come home and it's like, oh no, you've got three kids to worry about. Needed you to get here early so you can watch them. But yeah, I think it's about, I don't think your spark gets killed over time, but you also got to understand that when you just married, it's very different to 20 years later because we also got to grow and evolve. I'd love to say grow and evolve together, but we are two different individuals. And you've got to also accept that we can't be one in that sense because then he loses who he is and I lose who I am.
True.
So it makes no sense in that. But you can grow together in so many different avenues. And I know with us, we've grown so much spiritually. We do really relish moments of meditation and having that quiet time, having that time together. For him and I, it's not even about I love food, don't get me wrong. I really love food. I love going out, but lately, to actually put on heels in the evening after you've worn them the entire day and then have to put a face of makeup on to go out and have a meal. Whereas you could sit here in your pajamas, and I love cooking, and that's my love language, and it's always been that. I can just cook and cook and cook, but that's our best conversations is around the kitchen. So it's like simple things like that that keep it going, basically.
Do your kids see you as a mom or a boss mom?
Probably see me as the screamer, a lot. I get told this by my middle child. Yeah, but mom,
That's
you
Milano.
scream. Yes, yeah. And he's very verbal. He has no filter. I think you scream just a little bit more than dad. And and Deshan loves the fact that they see me in that light. It's like, yeah, she's the naughty one. Um, I think they see me in both roles. And I want them to see that because I'm raising three boys that I want one day when they meet their wives or their life partners, um, that they embrace who they are, just the way their father has, and allow them to be who they are, and allow them a voice, and be proud of that and not feel that they are constricted or feel smaller because she's louder, So a woman can be in a place of authority, but also be subtle and warm as a mom as well. So yeah, it's very for me. It's very important that the boys see that. Yeah,
Okay, what's a family moment that completely grounded you and reminded you what really matters? A family moment that completely grounded you and reminded you what really matters.
I think. Listen, there's a lot, but if we're gonna go with what has grounded me and made me realize what really matters. Again, I'm going to go back to losing both parents, losing my mum to breast cancer. It opens your world up on a whole different level. It truly like makes you see life in a whole different perspective. So I think that was a whole, yeah, a moment. Yeah, yeah, that definitely.
Okay. If your children could describe you in one word, what do you think they say?
I always use the word, and everybody uses this word, that I'm kind. Some say I'm too kind. But my kids do use that word as yeah, very often.
Okay, how have your parents shaped the woman you are today, the way you love, lead, and live?
I think their morals, their values, and they've always taught us humility. I think, which was so important growing up. I remember in my dad's words, he would always say, a person's worth is not the amount of zeros that he has in his bank account, but the amount of blessings that he carries in his heart. And that will
That's
always sit,
powerful.
yeah, yeah, it will always sit with me. And he always told us that if you have a CEO come to your door, or you have a beggar from the street come to your door, you treat the both of them with the exact same respect and kindness. And I think my mother was the same. I think there was the saying that she used to use, you have your hand, ugh, why can I not remember this? Something about your hand with humanity. I will remember this, hopefully hopefully in this episode, but I will remember this. But she used to say this constantly. And just growing up, I'm thankful we got to experience the love of the parents that we had. I mean, I come from a family of three brothers, two sisters, so we were a big family. I'm the youngest daughter, and then I've got a younger brother, but it's just a year younger than me. So I was always the baby. Um, but they showed us love. Really, we got to understand love, and especially with the both of them. Like Desh and I were actually talking about this the other day. I mean, sometimes we can get into an argument, right? Generally, me, I'm the one that's arguing a lot. But I was like, the funny thing is, my parents we never argued in front of us. We never saw them. We never saw that version of them. If they would argue, maybe it would be behind closed doors. And it was generally my mother that was more louder. But what they that the love that they exuded was something else. And I think they've taught us how to be kind. And I think they've everything that I am or who I am is absolutely from my upbringing. And I could never credit anyone else but the two of them. It's just, and even in the way we raise our kids, but kindness, humility, and love has been, they were such liberal people. So I take their advice and words from over the years and I use it in all different aspects in my life, from home to work to, yeah, and yeah.
Having a baby in your 40s versus in your 30s, how was the experience different? And how did it change your life?
Oh my God, how did it? So let's take it back to actually falling pregnant, turning 40. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that came out of nowhere. That was a shocker. I'm going to admit it was not a welcomed shocker at all. I think going back to my history of, or should I say, Deshan and mine, we were told we couldn't have kids by three specialists, one GP, only a 3% chance, and so fast forward,
That was before you had your first.
before I had taken,
Any-
yeah,
oh,
before I had any
okay.
kids, yeah. So that's a tough pill to actually swallow, and it was a random yearly gynae checkup, and then patient went through to the urologist, and then boom, done tests and all that. Just, it was just to say, right, just in case we decide we want to have kids. And I mean, we were going on our third year of marriage, but we were still living our best life. Not, we love kids to bits, but we weren't like, no, we're having babies. And then boom, you hear that, shit, you can't, only a 3% chance, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, fast forward, by the grace of God, we had taken naturally 1.5 months to finding out we can't have kids. That's God there, right?
Okay.
And fast forward, number 2 came, and blessings, oh my God, that I can't even explain or express because it's such an emotional thing. So number 3. So the story behind number 3, I had 2 very traumatic pregnancies. Like it was not on. Like I knew I wouldn't be able to actually carry a third child. So we had decided, actually prior to us ever having kids, while we were dating, that we would adopt. It was always in the plan to adopt.
Okay.
And we chatted about it and we decided, right, we're going to start the process because physically I couldn't carry, but I wanted another boy. I mean, you ask our friends and family and stuff, I've mentioned this like so many times, like, no, but you know what, we're thinking of starting the adoption process, but I want a son. I want another son. And lo and behold, started it just like very much the beginning, didn't sign any documents or anything, but we were then told that there's a 6-month grace period where the mum can actually take back
Take
her
it.
child. And that put like brakes on everything. And so we sat down, even with the boys, and we're like, okay, the agent's like, let's we take 2 weeks, we think about this, whether we really want to go ahead, because I'd never be able to give a baby back. I mean, no. And lo and behold, that big guy upstairs had other plans because within that 2 weeks, missed a period and took a pregnancy test. And the weirdest thing is, I've had a pregnancy test left in my drawer for almost, I think, it would have been almost a year, where we had thought that we were pregnant and got a bit of a scare a year prior. And Deshan had bought 2 pregnancy tests, which I used. One was negative. We were all good. It was all fine.
Yes.
But for some odd reason, I did not throw the other one. So I think I willed it to the universe. And yeah, took that test and I was in absolute denial. My husband was jumping through the roof. When we eventually told the kids, they were as well jumping through the roof. And I was like, just take a step back, guys. I need to kind of comprehend how am I going to deal with being pregnant
In your 40s.
at 40. Like, it doesn't make sense whatsoever. I've got all these things planned. This is how I'm now getting my life back together. And, I've had the time at home because I did take a break and sell my business when my mum got ill. And those times you could never, money can be made at any time, but those times and moments with her, I could never get, back. So took that time off. But now I was like, right, and now you're like, gosh, you're now dealing with, you could be pregnant. So I still was in denial because although it was a clear positive, we of course had to go to the gynae and then it was like blood tests and yeah, okay, no, you are pregnant. And I remember telling, when coming to terms with it, once you see that little heartbeat,
Yes.
that's, I think I could have been 60 sitting there and listening to that heartbeat and you're like, nope, this is where I need to be, And all I told my gynae then was, I'm going to be a bit crude, right? But I was like, listen, I am going to be 40. So doctor, just make sure that my vagina is intact and it's not dragging on the floor when this baby comes out. And lo and behold, okay, the third birth was traumatic. But I remember him telling me this when he came through the next morning to check on me. And he's like, well, Shantal, the one thing I can say is the vagina is all intact. So, yeah. But yeah, it was big change, very big change. It's a lot. Your energy levels from having a baby in your 20s to now having number 3 in your going about 40. It's game changer right there. But you know what? We embraced it. I look at my Valerio and the happiness and the love. The other 2 have filled our home to an extent that we could never express. With madness as well, but love more than anything else. And then came our Valerio that touched our hearts in a way I can't even, yeah, it's an emotional thing, but that little boy was sent here for a major reason. So yeah, I've embraced it. I'm loving it. I think he keeps us on our feet and keeps us young because it's a go. But yeah, that's having a baby in your 40s.
Truth bomb time now. What's the hardest part about being a woman in your 40s?
Oh gosh, I don't think there's a hardest part. There's a lot of highs and lows and there's moments where you're on super highs and there's moments where you're on super lows. Like coming into my 40s, I get the whole midlife thing. I remember sitting down with Deshan and going, I feel like I'm not as old, but I'm not as young. And like, you now go back to when your parents were in their 40s. And that generation just seems so much older. And you go through also a denial thing of like, no man, like I'm not that old. And yeah, then the body says another story and everything kind of, gravity takes control on everything. I think as a woman, we all, whether we are a size 4 or whether we are a size 40, we will always find something wrong with ourselves if we stand in the mirror. It's like having straight hair and having curly hair. You speak to a person that's had curly hair all their life and they're like, oh God, I just want it to be straight. You speak to someone who has straight hair all their life and they're like, oh, I just want it to be cut. So as a woman, there was a lot to accept that, I mean, with having this baby as well, I had to have an emergency Caesar. So from having two natural births and getting right back on it to now having a Caesar, and then your body takes a whole different shape and form, to embracing cellulite on a whole different level, um, to embracing emotions of realizing, gosh, I actually am like deflated, or I'm going through a bit of a depressive moment, and knowing that I don't have it all together and having to accept that it's okay. Also, just being on that go, go, go. And then you hit your 40s and you still want to go, go, go. But then, you know, your mindset changes. I mean, it's like body, mind, soul. I feel for me, I did a whole lot of soul searching and I've embraced it, gotten to the core of my spirit and my being. Sounds a bit cliched, but that has what that's what has actually brought me back into my being, and finding what actually serves its purpose in my soul and my spirit. But it's the 40s that brought about that. So yes, as I say, there's the beauty in it, but also there's the chaos of it, because I mean, hence there's truth bombs and hot flushes, you know. There's certain things you go through that you don't really know. There's words now that of perimenopause and menopause, things that you never spoke about. You never talked about these things in your 20s and 30s. And now it's like, gosh, our conversations include things like this. I chat with my friends and they're like, can you believe this is what we're talking about now? You know, oh, what vitamins are you taking? Are you making sure you're taking your magnesium? Oh my gosh, I need to go and get my neurobion and my vitamin B12. And it's like conversation has changed so drastically and focus on health has become so predominant. Because I mean, we don't know how long we're here for, but we want to give these little vessels that we have been blessed with all that we can to keep it fit and keep it healthy, but also embrace that there's imperfections in our bodies now, you know? I mean, I found cellulite on my bloody arms the other day. And I'm like, Dejan, am I supposed to have cellulite on my arms? Like, what the hell here? I found cellulite on my tummy. But I'm also loving it. I'm at a point where I'm loving it. I'm loving the fact that I have a bum finally, you know? It's, you've got to embrace it and embrace who you are and the woman who you're becoming, because who I was in my 20s is not who I was in my 30s and definitely not who I am in my 40s. So yeah, I hope that answers what.
Okay, what has changed the most about you over the last decade? Physically, mentally, or emotionally?
um, Physically, there's a lot that has changed. Hello. This body has expanded, which I'm loving. But I think mentally, I look at life very differently. Very, very differently. I take it sometimes, as much as I'm a very OCD person, where I can't survive really without routine, I've now let my hair down a lot. I've pushed myself to limits that I really never thought I would, ever. And I feel I'm keep doing it, because I really do feel life is too short. But my mindset's changed with regards to every aspect in my life and how I see the world. And I've really learned to appreciate seeing the positive in everything. And though it's so difficult to actually change your mindset to that, especially if you're going through anything. So I think the most important thing for me is that I constantly remind myself, because no matter what you're going through or been through, if you really take a seat back and you look, there's always a positive, even if you don't see it in that moment. Um, so yeah, I think I see life so differently, and I feel just loving is so important. Love, love and kindness. I really truly believe that we all need just a little bit more of that, and if we can give a little bit extra of that on a daily basis, and to even a random person, it's that's something that's very, yeah, important.
There's this idea that women aspire after 40. What's your message to that?
Expire? Oh God, no, we don't expire. We have no expiration date. I mean, come on, women, we are like resilient. We're like a different kind of, I don't know, we are something else. When God was creating us, he put a lot of stuff in there, that we such like resilient beings that we can't even associate the word expire. We shouldn't. Whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, even 100, you've just got to live each day, live each moment, and try and inspire to the best of your ability. And we don't need to all be sitting in big CEO positions to inspire. Just being a good person, and we all falter because we all aren't perfect, let's be frank. But if we can help just one person, I mean, what a difference does it make? And you create that domino effect. So refrain from ever using the word expire, because we do not expire. And I think reaching this new phase in our lives where we go through the whole midlife, it's really time to inspire. I really 100% believe that. I feel because that's when you grow into your own. You finally get to that moment of, this is who I am. You embrace it, and you look at other opportunities of how you can raise womanhood, you know? So, yeah, no, we don't use expire. No.
What advice would you give your 25-year-old self now?
I think I've always had this, even if you speak to my siblings, I've always had, even at 25, I owned my first franchise at 25. So I've always had a business mentality, right? Even as a teenager growing up, any dates my brothers would go on, I would technically volunteer to iron their clothing, but they needed to pay me 10 Rand a set. And then I was quite cheeky with regards to, yeah, no, that doesn't really suit you. So let's iron another set. So it was always a thing of money, making money, and how you can. It was like a thing, in your 20s. 20, so 25, I think fast forwarding is where I was getting to with regards to, I've always had a business mindset. So I always knew where I wanted to go. But the crash came in at 22 and I lost my dad. And a different version of me arose. And it kind of came together at 25. But then, as I said, when a piece of you dies, it takes some time to get back on track, basically. So, what I would tell my 25-year-old self, I I don't know if there's actual advice, because I feel in everything that I'd gone through in life, you have to. You have to go through
That's
the
very
good and the
easy.
bad, the ugly, because it makes you who you are. And if I had to give that 25-year-old advice, then maybe that 25-year-old would have dodged certain things, but then it wouldn't have made me into the 43-year-old that I am now. So maybe I would choose to let her figure it out and not, yeah.
You often talk about walking in purpose. When did you truly find yours?
I feel I've always had a purpose. I don't talk about this as often. I am involved in quite a few charities. I don't like to put this out there. Um, but my purpose has always been with humanity, in serving humanity. It's been a thing. I've just over the years tried to figure out how to do that. But I feel at 39, going into 40 is when I really secured my purpose. And I know where that purpose is taking me. Um, I think ultimately, yes, it's good to be successful in business or from a monetary or materialistic perspective. We all like nice things. I mean, let's be frank. It's not the end all and be all of everything. And I think I've realized that when realizing what my purpose is. And I do find that God is pointing me in that direction more strongly than ever. Now I feel in this phase of my life, my purpose is shining even more. It's right there in front of me. And it is in helping others. I don't want to go further into it, but I know where it's yeah. But it's something solely for me that I don't think it needs to be spread out onto social media because then it defeats the purpose. Yeah.
Has your faith ever been shaken by success or struggle?
Oh, definitely. I think when you go through struggles is when you look for God a lot more. And it's human nature, you know. Like Deshan always says, he says if you look at there was this I don't know if it was a survey or there was someone on social media going around in Europe asking people about God and Jesus and all of that. And they're like, no, no, no comment. And they'd walk past. And they came to this derivative that, like your first world countries, because they have so much, they've never really needed to go down on their knees and pray. And then you go to your third world countries who've experienced so much of poverty and, where they constant, their faith is so strong. So I feel you always have to have that person, that light in whichever avenue or religious belief, you have. You've got to hold him in your heart. I say him, but hold that light in your heart. But I think you draw closer when you're going through a struggle. You're very thankful in the smooth parts of life. But in the rocky parts is when your faith really, really gets tested. I think with me, there's been a lot of those, a lot of those. But after, just before 2020, I took very ill. I think I've always been a person that goes, 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 goes. And I didn't realize that I was just going on empty. It was like a car that was just moving, but there's no diesel in it. And it was a huge reality check with me. And God has always been a thing. We've grown up in a home where God was the center of our home. It was a non-negotiable. Same thing in my family as well. That's the center of our world. Um, but as life carries on, you don't, you'll go to church or, you whichever avenue, but that's about it. And then you get hit with like, shoot, am I dying here or what is going on? And the only person you can go to is God. So in that time, I think a revelation hit me hectically. Um, and I think part of my purpose really came in at that time. So that was very life changing for me. And it renewed my faith to a whole other level. To know there's that light that walks with you always, even at times that you don't see it. You're being carried through these difficult times, and when you're going through a difficult time, it's very hard to actually hold on to faith. It's very, very difficult to. But hold, my advice to anyone going through anything, because I mean, there's problems that vary from an array of stuff, just to cling on to. I think everyone that does know me knows how important God is to me and in my life, above everything and everyone. So yeah, faith is something I carry with me constantly.
What keeps you grounded when the world feels loud and demanding?
I like to just close off. I like to close off. Grounding again is something so important for me, to just get my feet in the grass. It's weird. My cousins laugh at me and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're a tree hugger." Like, just do it and you'll understand how nice it feels. But I like to also just go into my space, uh, and actually just talk to God. It keeps me sane, um, and just listening to music and just like calming all the noise. I think it's also very important that we do take a bit of time out. It's not so easy when you've got three little minions running around loud, but to just shut off for a little bit. And yeah,
How do you balance being soft and strong at the same time?
I think you have to have a bit of both, because it's impossible not to. You could have, I think there was a point in my life where I had a very hard interior, and that comes with loss. You feel like, ugh, why even bother loving or feeling if that's going to be ripped away from you? But you can't allow that to make it self permanent. So you've got to be strong where you cannot be taken advantage of, but you also got to be soft and embrace, life, and people from a soft perspective as well. So you got to have a bit of both.
What's one spiritual or personal practice that changed your life completely?
So, I'm a baptized confirmed Christian. Our home is very diverse. I think everyone that knows us knows this. My kids have been raised in a home where, so Deshan and I come from two different religious backgrounds. So he's always been a spiritual person, not very religious, but he comes from a Hindu background, and he also has family that are Hare Krishna devotees. And yeah, so Hindi, Tamil, and I thought that and so too with myself as well. I do have family that are Tamil and Hindu, and I've always, respect is something so important. Um, we believe that God is light, which we're all born into, and He's given us religion so we can find Him. Because if you just had Hinduism, or just only this world only had Christianity, or maybe some people might not agree with how those practices are, and then they won't really find their way to God. So we do believe that He gave us all these different avenues from all the different religions so we can find our way to this light that we're all born with. And we explain this to our kids constantly because we didn't want to give them a tag that says, this is who you are. They needed to figure out who they are. So my kids have embraced Buddhism, Hinduism. They know, they go to church every Sunday. You speak to them, they'll tell you they're Christian. We celebrate Diwali. Christmas is massively huge. I mean, as again, I say, I'm a baptized and confirmed Christian. Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Everyone knows this. But it doesn't hurt me to sit at the Kadampa Center, and going back to what practice that's influenced me is going through the period, my down period, the solace that I found, and don't get me wrong, I found beautiful solace in a church. I found it in just sitting, and praying, lighting my candle, praying in all different avenues. But it's the solace that I found during these meditation classes at the Kadampa Center, and speaking to a few Buddhist monks was really life changing. And it also wakes you up to that everyone is fighting for the same common goal. the love of God. So I think that is something, yeah, has been huge for me. I mean, you see my house, Mama, come on. It's all, yeah.
So, what do you wish more women understood about leadership and friendship?
Ah, there's that.
Interesting.
I think in the day and age that we live in, friendship, leadership, how do I actually put this? Yeah, the day and age that we live in, I find that women are not so like supportive of each other anymore, which is so sad. It's really, really sad.
I'm actually still going to that question,
Is it?
but
But
continue.
okay, okay. Can we just can we compress it then?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, have you ever felt unsupported by other women, and how did you handle
Okay,
it?
let's incorporate both of them. Yeah, kill two birds. Um, so when you're in a like leadership role, I've found like there's women that start to maybe distance themselves. Calls become few, messages become few, the support becomes not as grand. But with that being said, then you have like this whole other community of women that want to really raise each other up.
Yes.
And it's so beautiful to see where it's like there's no hidden agenda, there's no anything, it's just, no, hey, women supporting each other. And if we all could just do that, at the end of the day, I mean, to look at the amount of women in business now, I mean, we've been to a few events,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And how taken aback have we been looking at a room full of all these women entrepreneurs and CEOs and head of this and that. And it was like, all centuries later, imagine the women from the 17th century, 18th century, 19th century would, if they could look at how far we've come, how proud would they be? So we need to embrace that and be proud of one another and support, 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 support. I feel like I say this constantly, and not envy, not be jealous. Because you also got to realize in life, everyone has their own time to shine. And your time is your time. My time is my time. Her time is her time. And embrace that, be happy with that. But it's like I see it in business. It's like there's skinnering in business. It's like, oh gosh, yeah, she owns that. Yeah, no, we won't support her. Oh, I've spoken to an owner of a very reputable beauty franchise. Her stores are doing brilliantly well. And she was like, Chantal, do you know, I bought from a specific, I'm not gonna say the race, but one race purchased from another race, right? And because so there was about 15 women that used to go to visit the one specific branch of hers.
Okay.
And then when she sold over to a different race,
They also
they
coming.
they all stopped coming, but they were quite verbal about it as to why they weren't coming. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I really don't think women are on this, to this degree mean in this day and age. And then also racist. She's like, that's the reality. So, I mean, like, come on, ladies. Come on. Whether we are purple or pink or blue or red, we are women. Gosh, we all have vaginas and boobs here. Come on. So just like support. Okay, except for that. But like we've got to just come on, lift each other up, regardless of race, color, creed, or belief. Just embrace and raise each other, support each other. I mean, how amazing would this be? Yeah. I feel
What's
like this
a
is
truth bomb you've had to swallow about yourself lately?
I think there's quite a few truth bombs actually. But no, oh gosh. The one thing I've had to swallow is that which one specifically? I think my moodiness. I really think my moodiness. It's like come out of nowhere, but shame. It really just attacks a lot of men in my life. Yeah, that was, I think, a tough one, definitely to swallow, because I think we all are moody to a certain degree, let's be honest. But when you take a step back, you're like, oh my gosh, was I really such a moody bitch? You know?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, it's more on a playful side. When I'm moody, it's not so playful. Let's be honest. But yeah, I think that would be. Yeah,
How do you deal with burnout, comparison, and the pressure to be always on?
I think there is a lot of pressure because, or used to be a lot of pressure, so to speak, because I think when everyone sees you, or everyone or anyone sees you, always put together, and I like my heels, right? Even though I'd be like suffering in the night with like ankle pain and heel pain, but I mean, we push through. I like dressing up and showing up, but I constantly get this of you always look so put together, and I'm like, actually, no, I'm not. It's just when you put on your best, you feel your best. So I think it's always been this thing of like this persona that's been created by people of you that she's always put together. Oh God, I'm so far from that. So far from that. I'm really me. But I think also get when as you're aging, getting older, we want to also put in a little bit of lipstick here and there. We want to zhuzh ourselves up a bit, but I don't feel any more of pressure. I mean, this is me. This is my comfort clothes. But yeah, I think we shouldn't be put in situations where we feel that pressure, especially if you're out there, so people have this perception of you, but you shouldn't take it to heart because we are human. We're not made up 24/7. you know no, I'm not going to bed in heels. Maybe some days, maybe in heels, just saying. But yeah, I think at the point in life where I am right now, I don't get phased by that, or those words of, oh, but you just always seem so put together. Because no, darling, I'm really not.
This one is a bit. You've lost people close to you to cancer. How has that experience impacted your outlook on life and relationships?
Okay, I think I have touched base with that a
Yes, yes,
bit,
you said yes.
but I think having to be affected by, and with me, I've lost my mum to it, my mum-in-law, my aunts. Three of my aunts were actually diagnosed one after the other, and two out
Oh
of
my
three of them
God.
passed on a month behind each other. Friends. So it's just like when I hear the word, it's like a PTSD that hits me. Because when my mum was diagnosed all those years ago, it was still a very, I mean, we knew cancer's out there, right? But it wasn't a topic that the vast majority spoke of. Now, fast forward to all these years later, every second person has experienced someone, or, you know, they've been affected by it some way or the other. So very different ball game now. But yeah, it impacted us. I mean, on a level that I can't even put into words. You never want to hear those words, and it's your mother, And yeah, to find that we laughed about the fact that she had this lump on her breast. And I remember my sister and I went through with her to have the mammogram done and all of that. And results were out, and they're like, no, you need to take it back to your doctor. But we still laughed, and we are like, no, let's we go have lunch first. And then, yes, sneakily, my sister and I decided, let's we just open the envelope. And you must know, we are also clueless to these things now, and certain
Yes,
wordings
yes.
and medical terms. But you do know benign and malignant. Those are two words that you know. And we look at this, and there's my mum now coming out of the house to get into the car. And we both look at each other and we push it back in, and it's like it doesn't want to sink in. But to sit there in the doctor's rooms and hear that your mother has cancer is something that is so numbing, because all you associate it with is that's it, you know. And to see her bawl out crying in that, it was a lot to deal with. But we needed to just toughen up.
How old were you at that time?
So we go back to 11 and 6, about 17 years ago, 16. Yeah. She's late now, 11 years, and she lived with it for 6 years. So we're
She was
thankful
a
God
strong
gave her.
woman,
Yeah,
hey?
she was something else. She fought very hard, but to witness a woman of strength, and gosh, she was a woman of God. She was a praying woman, but to witness her
Going through.
deteriorate was not on. And it was a very trying time. It was a time that I questioned my faith so much. Like, if you're a God who loves, why do you do this? And this is a woman who's dedicated her life to so many. And here she's sitting, and cancer sucks out your spirit, your being, that you're left as a shell, which is not even a version of who you once were. And to sit there and put up this brave front and have no tears in front of her whatsoever, because we're like, no, you're strong, you got this. And then you're going back home and you in the shower and you're bawling your eyes out. It's a time in my life that I don't like to think about, but it's there. Those flashbacks come through and from, especially when then you hear your mom-in-law's diagnosed, and then you hear your answer, and it's like, no, and then it's this constant reminder. So it's very, it really, I can't say change my outlook on life, but it made me value life so much more, because we don't know how life will play out, with regards to how we leave this earth. But it's something that changed me from a perspective of how I see life, and embrace it, and embrace all these happy moments, and go crazy about birthdays, and because you really just don't know. Um, but then there's moments when you're now getting a call to hear, oh yeah, mom-in-law's got it. Now I've lost my mother-in-law. And that was huge. That was very huge, because now there's your kids' granny. Now they're never going to know grandparents, which is, that was really, my mother-in-law was also an amazing, beautiful soul. She was just, yeah. But I'm sure they're partying it up there, and they both are having cooking competitions guaranteed. But yeah, it's something I think anyone that has experienced losing someone, there's highs and lows and emotions that you would not be able to even verbalize. But having your relationship again with a big guy upstairs somehow pulls you through and pulls you together. So yeah, we've taken it from highs to lows. It's like somber.
When it is all said and done, What do you want people to remember about you?
I think when I leave this earth, hopefully when I'm like, we won't say 100, right? Because I can't, I definitely would not be able to use high heels at 100. Let's be
True.
real, right? God's going to keep me here till I can like maximize using high heels. Then we good. But I think I would like to be remembered again for my kindness and humility and making a difference, even if it's in one person's life. Because you come to the realization that we can't save the world, but if we could just do, one act of kindness and, favor, what a huge impact it would be. And to create again that domino effect. So I'd like to be known as the person who loved and spread her light.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave your team, and the woman watching you?
To always just embrace the life that you have. And there's no end to anything, there's no age limit to anything. Push hard, work hard. Working hard pays off. It does. Even if you don't see it in the moment. Push yourself to limits. Throw yourself in the deep end. Why the hell not? You're either going to sink or you're going to swim. But never ever halt in life. Take it all in. There's opportunities in abundance. We just got to look for them. Embrace every single moment in life. Every single moment. There's goodness in everything, and there's goodness in everyone. Even the most horrible beings with the most ugliest comments or what have you, um, there's goodness in them. And we have to just look beyond that, as hard as it is. But look for the good in people, because sometimes that's all a person who's being ugly in a certain way wants, is for someone to truly see them and show them that little extra bit of kindness. So yeah, that's it, I would think.
If you could describe the next season
Oh,
of your
there's
life
more.
in one word, the last one,
Right,
last
right.
one. If you could describe, sorry, if you could describe the next season of your life in one word, what would it be and why?
God, adventure. Adventure, adventure, adventure.
Why?
I just feel I'm like, yeah, I need to cross territories I never even thought of crossing before, and just do it. Just, yeah, adventure, adventure. I mean, y'all know my husband's quite the adventurous person. I mean, he could like go and jump off a cliff basically, or bungee jump off a cliff. And I think he's given me a bit of that spirit of who I used to be. Because yeah, I was that younger version of me that would like want to bungee jump off a cliff. But now I'm back at it and I'm embracing it, and yeah, I I want more adventure. But yeah. So are we there? Are we done?
We are done.
Well, guys, that was a lot of questions, by the way. Thanks to the few DMs that we got with some questions. Some questions were a bit questionable, so we did not clearly, well, use them. But yeah, to the next episode, we're next few episodes, couple, because season finale is around the corner and such exciting things to come. I can't wait for season 2. But thanks to all our viewers and our listeners. I mean, we've been pleasantly surprised at the growth of TBHF. And you know what? If we're helping at least one or even two women or men come out of their shells in midlife, then our work is done. So until the next episode, guys, bye. Skimsy, the producer.